I'm right down Main Street, and we are dining at every restaurant in Epcot's World Showcase. Today, we're checking out Rose and Crown. The 7th episode of this series brings us to the UK, where we are going to be eating at the restaurant at Disney World with the world's smallest menu. And if you think I'm kidding, here's a look at it. At the date of recording, there are only 2 appetizers, 4 entrees, and 2 desserts to choose from. Who let this beloved Epcot restaurant come to this? Let's just head inside and hope that the few items on the menu are executed well. We are dining outside today, and I gotta say, it is very, very toasty out here. Originally, I was brought to a table that was like directly in the middle of the sun, and I was like, it is too hot today for that. So I now have a table kind of in the shade under the awning. However, it's still pretty hot out here. So honestly, right off the bat, I gotta say I would not recommend dining here if it's hot when you're gonna be here. Like, this is pretty brutal. They do have an indoor dining room, but maybe you have to like request to be seated in there. The restaurant opens at 4. I had a 4:10 reservation. So I'm surprised I didn't like ask kind of where I wanted to be seated or something. I should have just said I'd rather be inside though. But if you are here on a nice day, I would say this would be a beautiful place to come and eat and enjoy nice weather. However, most of the time in Florida, there isn't the nicest of weather. But let's take a look over the menu, and I know I briefly talked about how small it is, so we'll be able to cover this entire menu in no time. For appetizers, there is a Scotch egg here, as well as a salad. And then for entrees, we have fish and chips, shepherd's pie. There's also bangers and mash, an impossible hot pot, and then our desserts are here as well, sticky toffee pudding and a seasonal gelato. Having 8 total things on a menu, including appetizers, entrees, and desserts, screams lazy to me. It just makes it seem like they want to keep things easy and simple back in the kitchen. So not that impressed. Typically menus at Disney World don't have like the most options, but they definitely have way more than this. There's usually like at least 4 desserts, usually around like 6 apps, and at least like 6 to 8 entrees. This is just crazy. Now, what we surely have more of on the menu than food is alcohol here at the Rose and Crown. They are all about the different drinks here, the different beers, the different pub blends, which are usually really good. Typically, if I come to the Rose and Crown, I would either get a Guinness or the Welsh Dragon, which is like a mixed drink. It's kind of like minty and melony. That's probably my go-to here. Back in the day, I used to really enjoy beer, so I'd get some of the different beers and the different pub blends here, but recently I haven't been much of like a beer person. And I feel like a Guinness is too heavy to enjoy outside today. I'm not really in the mood for the Welsh Dragon, so I'm gonna skip out on the beverages today. But I did just put in my order for an appetizer, and it wasn't that hard of a decision to make whether I was getting this salad here or the Scotch egg. And within minutes, my Scotch egg has arrived. This is a golden fried hard-boiled cage-free egg wrapped in sausage with mustard sauce for $15. And since my appetizer did come out so fast, that just lets me know that they're just trying to keep it easy. These are all pretty much pre-made in the back, and they just, I guess, fry them up as they're ordered. But that was concerningly quick. Despite having pretty strong opinions about this place right off the bat, the food will be judged 100% honestly. If I don't like something, I'm going to 100% tell you. If I do like something, I will also 100% tell you. So these are all fair food reviews. Cut myself off a piece of this Scotch egg. Let's try it out. The first bite was incredibly dry, and that was just with the egg white, so I can't imagine what it would be like when I get a bite of the egg yolk. Now, it did come with this mustard sauce here on the side. However, it has mayo in it, so I'm not going to be using that, but my waiter was kind enough to bring me just plain old yellow mustard, so I feel like this will help with the dryness, hopefully. When eating it with the mustard, it's definitely better, but that's because I really enjoy mustard, and that's like the sole flavor coming through. And the mustard is really like the only flavor that I'm tasting. Usually sausage is like nice and juicy and super packed with flavor. It is seasoned well. I do taste some salt in there, but the sausage itself just doesn't have much flavor, leaving this whole dish kind of bland. It is nice and fried. I do like the crunchy on the outside, but you definitely need the mustard for this dish. Like, without the mustard, this would not be great. So if you're ordering this, definitely make sure to either use the mustard sauce that they give you or the little French's packets. It's the savior right here. Overall, was the Scotch egg bad? No. But was it good? Also no. Well, time for entrees, and like I mentioned, there are only 4. One of which you could actually get outside at the quick service restaurant, so I don't think I'm going to be getting the fish and chips. I was either between the shepherd's pie or the bangers and mash here. I asked my server, who has been excellent, by the way, which he recommended between the shepherd's pie and the bangers and mash. I believe I've had the shepherd's pie before, and I think it was pretty good. And he let me know that the shepherd's pie is better for like cooler weather, and the bangers and mash is better for warmer weather. So he recommended I go with the bangers and mash, and I definitely agree. I think it would be a little bit too hot to eat something like a shepherd's pie out here today. So I decided to go with the bangers and mash. And this must be like record-breaking timing, because I swear to God, I put my order for bangers and mash in. I could look back at what time, but it probably had to be 2 minutes ago, and it's already arrived at the table. And this really fast service would be good if you're like in a rush or you're really hungry. However, I'm just relaxing and enjoying the day, and this just like makes me think that it's all just like sitting back there in vats and they're just scooping it into plates, because it's like I said before, it's coming to my table alarmingly quick. Well, here we have the bangers and mash. This is traditional English sausage with colcannon potatoes, mushroom, onion, and red wine demi for $25. We're eating a lot of sausage today, folks. Let's try these mashed potatoes first. I hope they're really creamy. The potatoes are great, as is that red wine demi-glaze sauce. It has a really rich onion flavor. It's kind of like thicker and more like gelatinous than like a typical demi-glaze, but it's a very, very tasty gravy. Let's try this sausage here. Got a ton of that gravy on there. Good snap. Now that is the sausage flavor that I was missing in the Scotch egg. It has a really nice snap from the casing, and just the sausage itself is so much more flavorful. It's nice and juicy, really good paired with that gravy, and I bet it'd be even better to get a bite of like everything together: sausage, mashed potatoes, and gravy. Yep, that is totally the way to go. You gotta cut off a bite of that sausage, get some mashed potatoes, get some gravy in there. This is really good. This is definitely a really good dish, and I bet these mashed potatoes, they're so good in this. I bet they would be really good on top of a shepherd's pie as well, with some cheese and all that minced beef in there. This is really good. I'm really enjoying this. And also $25 for an entree at Disney World. You can't really find at many places these days, so I think the price is really fair as well. We still have one more round left to go here at the Rose and Crown, which is dessert. So we're gonna order some dessert, and then after we eat our dessert, we're actually gonna head out to the quick service and try some of the fish and chips here, and then we're probably gonna head into the pub and grab a little beverage in there. So by the end of this video, we're gonna do like a full Rose and Crown tour. We're trying like every food, or pretty much like every food restaurant offering that the UK has to offer. I'll quickly refresh your memory on the desserts. There's a sticky toffee pudding and a plant-based seasonal gelato with mixed berries. I went with the sticky toffee pudding. And here we are. This is a steamed pudding cake served with warm vanilla custard and hot butter rum sauce for $9.50. Let's try this out here. The hot butter rum sauce itself almost gives off like a mapley flavor, which I don't necessarily love maple flavor. The cake is really nice and moist, and I like that vanilla cream sauce that comes on it. Yeah, the only thing I'm not really loving is that butter rum sauce in here. I just can't get around to it. But this vanilla cream sauce, I got a lot of this bite here. That vanilla sauce is great. Overall, I expected the sticky toffee pudding to be a little bit better. I had really high hopes because next door during the Food and Wine Festival is the Ireland booth, and they have this warm chocolate pudding cake with a very similar vanilla sauce that is like top of my list every single year. It's so good. This doesn't quite reach that bar, and I probably wouldn't get it again, especially considering there's so many amazing desserts around the World Showcase that I think are probably a lot better. Well, look who it is, and guess where she's taking me?
The pub. We're going to the pub now. You had dinner, time to go to the pub.
Okay, it was way too busy to film in there. And like I said, I wasn't really feeling a beer or any of the other drinks on the menu, but thank God for Bethany. She came through with a secret menu drink. I guess this is, what is it called? The English Rose? I was told what's in it. It's like gin, apricot brandy, sweet vermouth, or pineapple juice, orange juice, and maybe like cranberry?
Yeah.
Something else. I don't know. It's like a fruity drink. It's good. Very, very pineapple and orange juicy. I don't really taste much alcohol. I don't know if that's necessarily a good or a bad thing, but I did watch how much she put in here. and there wasn't much.
No, it wasn't crazy.
It wasn't much. So I feel like it's not a good thing that I can't taste the alcohol. Now that we've had something to drink and a little bit of time to digest, I wanted to head next door and get some fish and chips. The same fish and chips that you could get in the restaurant, they serve outside at the quick service window, and it's a lot cheaper. It's a smaller portion, but it's cheaper. It has been quite a long time since I've gotten the fish here at the Yorkshire County Fish Shop, but it truly is one of my favorite things to eat in the World Showcase. And I definitely say it's one of the better like quick service kind of options here, as well as one of the more like authentic dishes. I always feel like a lot of the restaurants in the World Showcase lose their like authenticity to the country that they represent. But I feel like even though I've never been to the UK and had real fish and chips from there, from what I've heard and what people say that are British and stuff, the fish and chips here tends to be very good. But man, do they really like to keep things simple here in the UK. The only thing on the menu pretty much is beer battered fish and chips. They also have some cuties, drinks, some tea and coffee. You could get some beer here too, but beer battered fish and chips is pretty much the only food. Inside the Rose and Crown restaurant, the portion of fish and chips you get is a lot bigger, and it costs $28. Outside at the Yorkshire County Fish Shop, it costs $13.49. You get one piece of chip and a handful of fries. One piece of fish and a handful of fries. But who remembers back in the day, probably pre-COVID, when this used to come with 2 pieces of fish, and it was probably around $10? And yes, I specifically asked my waiter if the fish and chips that they serve inside Rose and Crown is the exact same as outside, and he did say yes. So confirmed for you guys. They also have like all the different things you can put on your fish. They have like vinegar, tartar sauce. I just go with good old ketchup on my fish. This is a really big piece too. This is bigger than my noggin.
Yep, I'll show you.
Listen to this crunch. And it's so good. I honestly haven't had this in so long. I was missing out. This is so good. The only thing I wish this came with is a nice lemon wedge. This came with a lemon wedge. This would be a 10 out of 10. It's still high up there. It's very, very good. The fish inside is nice and light and flaky. And that fry, that batter, oh my God, it's so super, super crispy. This is really some delicious fish and chips. It is so hot though. It's literally burning my hands right off. Much too good. Sue me. If you're mad that I used ketchup on my fish and chips, sue me. If they didn't want you to use it, they wouldn't have it out there.
There's chips, Kristen.
It's for both. It's for both. I would like.
Can we go around and
Bethany's arguing with me.
Can we go around and ask every single like
British
from
person
the UK if they've ever heard of anybody eating fish with
Go ahead.
ketchup?
Go ahead. You go ask them. I'll sit right here and enjoy my fish and chips while you ask if it's acceptable to use ketchup on fish and chips, because I enjoy it, and that's all that matters.
You do you.
But the real question is here. I know this is like a hot debate. Cooks of Dublin fish and chips from Disney Springs, Raglan Road's quick service restaurant, or Yorkshire County fish and chips from here in Epcot? Let me know down below in the comments. I've actually never had the fish and chips over there. I've had them at the Rose and Crown, but I hear it's different than the one you get at the quick service restaurant over there. I don't know if that's true, but I hear it's a little bit different. But I love the Yorkshire fish and chips. So that's my vote. My vote over the over the Raglan Road at least, because I've never had. But now I need to go to Cooks of Dublin and get the fish and chips over there. Because have you had it before?
No.
No? Should we go?
Right now?
Should we just get like all the fish and chips at Disney World? There's a bird coming for my. It's right behind you. Don't turn around.
I see it.
Back up, yeah. Back up. Back up. Look, it's listening to me. Wash it down with, what is this called?
English rose.
With an English rose. With an orange juice. As it melted, it literally just tastes like orange juice. And as much as I enjoyed my bangers and mash inside, I definitely do think the fish and chips is the way to go. But like, why would you go inside and spend $28 on fish and chips when you could just get the exact same thing outside for cheaper and a smaller portion, so that way you can eat and try more things around the World Showcase? That seems like the way to go if you want to eat some food from the UK. Now that we've done everything there is to do in the UK, we were sitting there and I asked Bethany, is there anything you've never done at Disney World? And I was like listing off like lounges and bars that she's maybe never been to. And I was like, have you ever been to Martha's Vineyard? And she said no. I was like, oh.
That.
Yeah, you did say, what's that? And I was like, We gotta go. I must admit though, I brought Bethany here for all of the wrong reasons. I told her this is the worst bar / lounge at Disney World, and I stand by it. I think this is the absolute worst. It's so boring in there. The room itself is literally just a room. There are no specialty cocktails, no specialty food. It is a bar with nothing going on. She's never been before, so I wanted to treat her to her first visit here in this glorious place. We do have our choice at any table in the place. So we picked these cozy chairs. What's going on back there?
Oh my God.
The menu is like permanently closed. Okay. But if you look at it, it's all the like pool bar cocktails that they have at every single pool bar. There's literally not a single specialty cocktail. And then they do have lounge bites. They have wings, they have clam chowder, a cheese plate, loaded potato barrels, crispy shrimp, barbecue pork ribs, and snow crab legs. Respectfully, who goes to a lounge and is like, wow, I just want a bowl of clam chowder. Or, wow, I just want your finest snow crab legs. It doesn't make any sense to me. Well, guys, here we are at Martha's Vineyard. Enjoying our time, enjoying my nice cup of ice water.
I'm drinking the Gin Daisy. What this is.
Yeah, Bethany has the Gin Daisy. It's the special that they have at every other bar. It's Empress Gin, Cointreau, grapefruit soda, lemon juice, hibiscus grenadine, blackberry, and raspberry, except it's only raspberry. If you didn't want that, you could get the pina colada. I'm sure they got that. The rum swizzle. Oh, do they not have the pina colada? Maybe they don't have like a frozen capability. Oh, they do have pina colada, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm trying to convince Bethany to get the snow crab legs, but she's not about it. She's not about it. So yeah, this is our time at Martha's Vineyard. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. This is...
I give it a 1 out of 10.
You give it a 1 out of 10? That's bold. Well...
He's sending me a postcard from Japan.
I stand by my statement. Worst bar at Disney. Bethany thinks Outer Rim is the second worst bar, and I think I'd probably agree with that one.
Outer Rim is better than this.
Yeah, Outer Rim is... Yeah, Outer Rim is better, because at least you could see like the monorail, and you could see the contemporary. Here you could just see these old blue walls, and this old blue furniture, and this stained up green carpet.
Is that a shadow or a stain?
It's a stain. Well, I will just say, to end off our time at Martha's Vineyard, that even if I was staying at the Yacht and Beach Club, I would not come here. And even if there was no other bar open and this was the only option, I still would not come here. I'd rather stay in my room. Now that we are back in Epcot, let's recap our meal at the Rose and Crown. This is like a loaded recap because there's a couple things that I enjoyed about the meal, and then there's a couple things that I didn't enjoy about the meal. First up, the ambiance. Sitting outside is nice on certain days, but it's starting to get really, really warm here in Florida, and with the limited seating inside, I don't think I would want to sit outside in these summer months. During the cooler months, I definitely think it would be a good place to go grab a drink and some food, but I would stick to the entrees. The appetizers are unimpressive. A salad or that Scotch egg, I wouldn't get either of them. I did enjoy my entree, and I did not enjoy the dessert at all. But overall, I'd probably say just stick to Yorkshire County Fish Shop. Like, just go get fish and chips. It's just not worth it to eat at the Rose and Crown. It's really nothing special, in my opinion. Shout out to all of my Patreon subscribers, and if you guys have made it to the very end of this video, let me know down below in the comments what restaurant for this World Showcase dining series I should check out next. We still have more to go, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye!